And joining us this morning, Cardinal great broadcaster John Rooney. How are you, John?
Doing fine. Good to be with you.
Great to have you here. You know, these Cardinal caravans are really a great chance to connect with the fans, aren't they?
I love going on the caravan. That's one way where we can get out to talk to the fans. I talk to a lot of fans at the ballpark when they come see the Cardinals play. But my time's limited because I have to be back in the booth at a certain time to get the lineup card done and then get ready to do the ball game. But this is a great opportunity while we're signing autographs to just answer some questions and say hello to the fans and thank them for their support, because without the fans, there is no Cardinal Nation. And believe me, I've been around Major League Baseball a long, long time, and there's nothing out there like Cardinal Nation.
What is the relationship between a team's announcers and the players like?
It's a good working relationship. I can only speak for myself personally. I don't bother them a lot because they kind of get tired of seeing you after 190 days when the season gets down to the end, and you had spring training on top of that. They get a little bit tired of that, and they are very respectful, though. I've been so lucky over the years that there have only been a few bad apples out of almost 30 years, and most everybody, you ask them a good question, they'll give you a good answer. And I enjoy going down to the clubhouse and saying hello to the guys, finding out who's healthy, who's ready to go, and Mike Matheny is gentleman's gentleman. Mm-hmm. Tony La Russa was terrific. Worked with Jim Fregosi and Jeff Torborg and Gene Lamont over the years. Some really good managers to be around. And I even enjoyed working with Ozzie Guillen the last couple of years in Chicago before Ozzie started speaking his mind on everything. But they were great to work with.
John, I've had the opportunity to hear some great Major League announcers during my life, and I will tell you that you and Mike Shannon together are absolutely, and I don't mean this as an idle compliment, you guys are among the best I've ever heard. And
well, thank you very much. That's very nice of you to say, but I think the thing that Mike and I enjoy so much, we believe in teamwork, and Jim Jackson's a big part of that team. Without Jim, we don't get on the air. Mike Claiborne and Rick Horton and Al Roboski works with us some. We all get along very well, and the key thing, we understand, we're doing the game for the fans. And sometimes we do it for us because we have fun, but we figure if we're going to have fun, the fans will too, so it's a win-win situation.
Well, and you know, Mike, as a former player, and there's a lot of former players who have made a successful transition to the broadcast booth, but what is it? Is it it's his obvious enthusiasm, his love for Cardinal Nation? What is it about him that makes him so special to work with?
He's not trying to be anybody else. He's Mike Shannon, and he hasn't tried to emulate Jack Buck or Bob Starr or other people he's worked with. He's just bringing his personality out there, his knowledge of the game, his enthusiasm for the game. He loves baseball. That comes across. And in turn, the fans love him. But he's not trying to be anybody else. He doesn't have to be, because what he brings to the table, he can tell you what's going to happen in a game before it happens. That's where the Cardinal fans have been blessed for years to have Mike Shannon in the booth there for over 40 years.
Amazing.
John, what would you say is the most memorable call you've made?
I think the most memorable call would probably be Albert Pujols' home run in the first game of the World Series in 2006. And that was special for me because I grew up in a household where we had the Cardinals on the radio all the time, either in the house or in the car. And my father passed on in 1976, and sports meant a lot to him, especially the Cardinals. And the fact that I was working a World Series and for his favorite team and certainly mine, and Albert Pujols hit a home run, and the Cardinals won Game 1 of that World Series. That's a memorable call. I will always treasure the call of Berkman's base hit with 2 strikes down to the last strike, and it kept the game going. And, of course, Mike had the call of David Freese' home run in Game 6 of the World Series.
Well, speaking of this year's squad, John, is this a team right now, as is, that's ready to reclaim that World Championship, or are there some holes that still need to be filled, do you think?
I don't think there's any question with what they have now. They can compete for that. But I think they're going to have to fill holes as the season goes along, just about like every other club. I mean, San Francisco had some holes to fill after Melky Cabrera went on his suspension last year, and they were able to do that nicely with Hunter Pence. Hunter was a big contributor for them and didn't do much in our series until it really counted, until late when he put a hurt on the Cardinals. But I think the Cardinals will have to add a piece here or there, and I hope that Rafael Furcal can play a whole season at shortstop, because I really believe if he had been leading off and playing shortstop, and this is to take nothing away from Pete Kozma, who did an admirable job of filling that role. But if Rafi had been in there, I think the Cardinals would have won the World Series.
Well, a true gentleman and a pleasure to listen to with each Cardinal broadcast. John Rooney, really just great to have you with us this morning.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, and look forward to being in town with the Caravan. And it's kickoff for baseball. We'll be in Florida doing games in late February this year because of the World Baseball Classic. I think the 25th, is it? Or the 23rd is our first broadcast?
Yeah, it's coming up before you know it. It'll be here.
Yeah, it'll be here. It's here.
And, Aaron, it's going to be a great time on Friday at Missouri Farm Bureau building.
Oh, cannot wait.
We'll look forward to it. John,
looking forward to it.
Thanks so much. You bet.
You bet.
Hilley and Hart on 94.3 Cat Country and online at 943cat.com.